have. Good morning. March 15th meeting, Madera Board of Supervisors is in order. Council, is there any additions to the agenda?
There are no additions to the agenda.
Okay. Could you please read closed sessions into?
Yes, Chairman.
Steve?
There are 6 items for closed session. Labor negotiators pursuant to Government Code Section 54957.6. The county negotiators are Adrian Caleb and Ken Caves. The employee organization is all units. Performance evaluations pursuant to Government Code Section 54957. The title of the position is County Administrative Officer and County Counsel. Existing litigation pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9, subsection D1, Guadagnini versus the County of Madera. And the other existing litigation is County of Madera versus Travis. There are 2 anticipated litigations pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9, subsection D2, and those are all of the items.
Okay. Any word from the public? Bring it back to the board. Let's go to closed session. Thank you. Hey, Bobby. Yeah, I know. We're trying to keep it, because I don't want to forget. We'll have friends and family, and then we'll have an open reception. Thanks, buddy. Yeah, I know. Thank you. I'll see you later. Good morning. Thanks. You ready for combat or something? Come on, man. You know you're coming. How you doing? Ooh, I like those stars, man. I like that star. Hey. Here's Dave. Okay. Okay, let's get to the agenda. County Council, any?
There are no reportable actions from closed session.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, let's have the invocation. Randy, please.
Our Heavenly Father, we come before you as a privilege and an honor that we could speak to our Creator in petition and praise. We thank you, Father, for all that you've done in our county and will do in the future. We pray for those that are suffering loss at this time, as we have on the screen many individuals. I think of Dorothy Farinelli in particular, as Rick here is chairman, and along with him there are many that are suffering at this time with broken hearts. We know you're sufficient to lift them up, and we would pray that you do so this day and the days ahead. We thank you for the rain, the abundance that's come. We continue to pray for more. We ask, Father, that we'd have storage that would be able to capture more of this in the future, and that it would happen soon. Now we pray, Father, for the business that will be accomplished by our Board of Supervisors. Guide them in their decisions and the conversation. May all that happens here be pleasing unto you and glorifying to you. We pray in Christ's name. Amen.
Would anybody like to talk about anybody that's on the screen? Quite a few, a little less than last time. We do have Mr. Marascotti there, a veteran and good friend of Madera for a long, long time, the Vineyard restaurant. And then I'd like to just, my mom, she was a grand lady. A lot of you guys knew her. Very, very conservative person. And she's going to be missed, but 95 years, a fantastic life. So anyway, but she touched a lot of people in those 95 years. So.
She got to see you be chairman of the board.
Got to see me be chairman of the board.
One I forgot to call. I just found out about it Monday and yesterday morning. Gladys Sturm, Grant Sturm's wife up there. He was superintendent at Norfolk School for about 50 years, and his wife died just about a week ago. I didn't even know it, so I'll get that later to you. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, I wanted to say a word about Robert Marascotti. He came home on from the veterans. What do they call that? The flight of honor. Honor flight. And greeted him in Atwater when he returned, and he was so proud. And it just made all of us feel warm when he returned home. Also, wanted to say a word about Brian Cheatham. I got the text this morning, and he just passed away at 5:30 this morning. He was a classmate of my son, and they played football together. He was like a family member to us, so our hearts are broken this morning for the Cheatham family. He's 28 years old, had leukemia, was in remission, and we didn't have any idea that he was in the serious condition he was in. And then also a member of our community, John Four Jr., tragically in an accident, passed away this last week, and he was a very good guy, loved racing, and we're going to miss him as well.
Anybody else? Okay. Brigadier General, would you please come up and give us the flag salute? Right here? That's fine, right there. Yes, please.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Some PowerPoint. Okay. Before we get going here, we have a special presentation. I'm very, very proud of this gentleman, and you know, you brigadier generals or generals, you don't know too many of them, and it's just outstanding that one of our own has become a brigadier general. And what he has done for the National Guard down there at Fresno and putting our logo, the county logo on his plane, the head of the squad, I'm really proud of Clay, and we just wanted to recognize you today and with a plaque. And I want your signature on this plane.
Oh, boy. There was a reason for it, see? Where's ours?
I'm very, hey, I went down there to that thing.
Oh.
I was there as well.
But we'll come down and bring you there. And before we do that, I'd like to have the VFW. I think they have something special for you. I think they're kind of proud of you too, Clay. Go ahead, Norm.
There's some plaques and things going to be traded today. We have a memento to recognize the general for his great achievement on behalf as the commander of the VFW and our friends at the American Legion. We got you a VFW, a windbreaker. Goes as outer garment. It's a very good garment. You see a lot of us wearing them. We wear them in our honor guard. We want to present that to you. And also some paperwork. You're going to get certificates and plaques, but this is a membership application to our post. So we would love to have you join and be a member of our post. Thank you.
Okay, let's go down and play a plaque here so we can get him back to work. Protecting us.
Well, thank you for having us here today on such a great occasion. Mr. Chairman, board members, it's a pleasure to be here representing Senator Tom Berryhill and Assemblyman Frank. Maybe you will run someday. Assemblyman Frank Bigelow. We're here. They wish they could have been here today to recognize the newest Brigadier General Clay Garrison, and so they asked us to prepare a certificate for him. And so you can't wear it like a jacket, but you can certainly put it in your office. And so on behalf of Senator Tom Berryhill and Assemblyman Frank Bigelow, we proudly present this to you and are so happy that you're from our district. Thank you. We can get a picture all together.
He needs this for his certificate of authenticity, so he can put it.
Well, I already worked there full time, and I've actually been working at the state. They had me since June. They've been making me do double duty, and it wasn't getting promoted to general is a little bit of a chore. So it didn't happen until now. But I work there full time now, but I'm still in command of the wing until April 2nd. I will just tell you that, as I told everyone, children keep you humble. A lot of people have told me, they walk up to me and say, getting promoted to a general is a big deal. And my daughter was very clear to me. She says, hey, Dad, getting promoted to general is a big deal, but you're not. So I'm blown away. This is the National Guard. This is your National Guard. It's been great meeting my brothers in arms from the VFW and the American Legion. I was at APCAL, Central Valley Honor Flight this weekend. My story, my connection to the community matters. I tell everyone that Air National Guard is just like the Air Force. If you look at my uniform, it says U.S. Air Force. It's the same uniform, same standards, same mission, same equipment, and we deploy the same way. There's a California National Guardman deployed to every continent in the world right now, including Antarctica. So your National Guard is constantly there. But the thing that makes us different is our connection to the community. I tell everyone the things that make us different. We're just like the active duty, only better, and what makes us better is we're kind of older and more experienced because we do capture that experience from the active duty. But this connection to the community, and at my promotion ceremony, it was nice to have community leaders there. The guy who cuts my hair has been cutting my hair since I was 9 years old. My kids go to the same schools I went to. They have the same teachers. So this connection that I have with the community it can't be duplicated in the active duty Air Force, but it's duplicated everywhere across the valley. And so my connection here is there's a connection. My commander of the maintenance squadron is tied into Sanger. When we have events, the whole town of Sanger shows up. My other maintenance squadron commander, town of Clovis. So you make it different, and it matters, because we couldn't do what we do without the support. So I'm very grateful to be honored this way, but I'm very grateful to be part of a community that's just supportive. You've been supportive to me, you've been supportive of my family, and there's a lot of guardsmen there, and some of them are in that picture, and it matters. So thank you. Thank you.
That's the way to start a day off. Wow.
Yeah, that's excellent. Good way to start it.
Yeah.
Thank you, VFW members. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you all for your service, yes. Okay, do we need to have any other public comment on that item? I don't think we have any, but that would be great. So thank you. It was on the board, so we had to do that. Thank you guys for coming.
With these last two meetings, we should rename this Maderica County.
Yeah.
We're getting pretty.
Right?
Okay. Consent calendar?
Oh, I got a couple.
Okay. Let's read the. Okay. Go ahead.
Item F, I just wanted to thank staff and all the committee members. I wish all of our special districts were as active as they are, and they got all their new rules put it out, and they've been going back and forth for about 6 months on that. So, and then item AE, I'm just wondering if a person's running for election like that, should we appoint them, and then if they, win or lose, would that be on there now, or should we wait? I just wonder about that. And item U, the Madera Connection. I see Jerry's out in the crowd here. I just wanted to thank him and his staff for the great job they're doing. I've been talking about him, and he's been coming to my town halls, and it's the people that our new buses, all the new routes. The people are so happy. I just can't tell you how great it is for what they're doing. So thank you, Jerry. I got a couple more, but I'll wait if anybody else brings it up. So
Are you want him to come up, Tom, or you want to
He's there.
Okay.
Thank you,
Sounds
Jerry.
good. Anybody else? Yeah. On item L, I just wanted to personally welcome Patrick Fitzgerald as our new librarian. Very excited about, just in the interview, I think there's a lot of exciting things ahead for our library under his tutelage, and I think he'll pick up, he's got big shoes to fill, but I think he'll pick up and really move it forward. So very excited, and just wanted to welcome him in case he's
One other thing, Rick, on Rhonda, the guy that was going to be appointed to the Chowchilla Red Top RCD, he passed away.
Oh,
so we pulled that.
Right. Yeah, we'll pull that.
What item number was that?
What was that?
Oh, you did?
Yeah, we did.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Okay. Any more? Anything from the public? Now, this is on consent calendar. This is on consent calendar. This is not public.
Boy, look how fast they
Boy,
get
they
up and
just
down.
jumped right in there.
You
Anything
do
on
that
consent
good.
calendar?
Let's do it one more time, Rick. Let's watch that.
Anything from the public? Okay, bring it back to the board.
I move we approve consent calendar as given, and thank everybody for what they've done on it.
Got a first by Tom, a second by Max.
Call for the vote. Supervisor Wheeler?
Yes.
Supervisor Rodriguez?
Yes.
Supervisor Frazier?
Yes.
Supervisor Rogers?
Yes.
Supervisor Farinelli?
Yes.
Vote passes 5-0.
Okay. Number 6, public comments.
Public
No,
comment.
Now you can get in line.
The first 15 minutes of each regular session is set aside for members of the public to comment on any item within the jurisdiction of the board but not appearing on the agenda. Items presented under public comment may not be discussed or acted upon by the board at this time. For items appearing on the agenda, the public is invited to comment at the time the item is called for consideration by the board. Any person addressing the board under public comment will be limited to a 3-minute presentation to ensure that all interested parties have an opportunity to speak. Also, all persons addressing the board must state their name and county of residence for the record.
Good morning.
Please state your name.
I'm Lori Pond. I live here in Madera. I am the president of the San Joaquin Valley Paleontology Foundation that operates the Fossil Discovery Center. And with me is Michelle Pacina, also lives here in Madera. We just came today to let you know that we are celebrating our 5th anniversary of operating the Fossil Discovery Center. On March 31st, we're going to have a celebration. And we want to let you know that the center is thriving. We now have 7,000 children coming through this Discovery Center and about 12,000 annual visitors. So we are definitely making our mark in Madera County. It's a premier educational facility, and if you haven't come to watch a field trip, I'd invite you to come watch. We have a full commitment from the Madera Unified School District that every second grader will come through that Discovery Center. So we just want to let you know that we're thriving, it's happening, it's great, and we're growing it. A lot of plans up in the future.
Hello, I'm Michelle Pacina, and I also live here in Madera. I just wanted to add that we did prepare an envelope for each of you, and inside the envelope is the invitation to the 5th annual celebration, but also our event calendar for the year. We're at the point where we have special activities once a month that we would like to have you come, if you could. And this provides more for the public to see the beautiful center that we have out there. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And my grandsons, they from up at Spring Valley came down about a week and a half ago, and then I had them over at my house the next day, and they were still talking about it. They got their little stuffed animal. I said it was elephant, and they said, "No, Dad. Grandpa, that's not what they are. They're whatever you call them."
Woolly mammoths.
Woolly mammoth, yeah. So they made it real clear that I knew what I was talking about. So they loved it. So.
It's a beautiful place. Okay, well, thank you, and thank you for your support.
Thank you. Joseph?
Shadwan, Madera County. This morning, I received a news update from Brussels. There was a shooting in a suburb called Forest in Belgium. apparently Belgian police were on the trail of at least one of the remaining attackers from last year's attack in Paris. Don't know if this person has been caught, but apparently we're getting close, or they're getting close. When there's more to talk about, you can bet I will let you know. Thank you.
Thanks, Joseph. Anybody else from public comment? I have one public comment. For 3 years, almost 3 years, I've been trying to get Reverend Jesse Peterson to come to Madera. I've known the guy since 2009. He will be speaking at the state prison, corrections, and juvenile hall this coming Thursday and Friday. But what's really special is the ministerial group has put together an event for him on Friday night at 6 o'clock. He wrote the book, The Antidote, and he's basically about all restoring family values. And I think it's going to be an outstanding program. But Friday, March 18th at 6 to 8 p.m. at Valley West Christian Center. So I'll put the flyers out there. Or Robert, could you put them out there for me, please? And please come. I think you'll find the guy very interesting. And what he has to talk about is he's from the East LA projects. That's where he preaches. So it'll be very interesting. Thank you. Thanks, Robert. Okay, regular session. Okay, 7A.
7A, Public Works Department, Municipal Services Division, presentation on the landfill gas system expansion.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, ladies and gentlemen. Ahmad Al-Kayat, your Interim Director of Public Works. On May 20th, 2014, your board entered into agreement with Tetra Tech BAS to provide engineering and environmental consulting services to our Fairmead landfill to ensure public protection from gas migration and maintain regulatory compliance. With us today is Mr. Gassan Andrayos. He's the president of the Methane Gas Group for Tetra Tech BAS, and he's also the director of our landfill gas system operations, maintenance, and expansion. Also, we have Mr. Caleb Moore, the Tetra Tech BAS chief engineer for Solid Waste Division. He's the project manager for our landfill for the solid waste activities, groundwater monitoring, and the development of our master plan. Also from Tetra Tech, we have at the podium here pretty soon Mr. Lee Daigle, who is our project manager for the landfill gas system at our landfill. Also, I just want to recognize some people in the audience. We have Mr. Richard Caglia and Alan Davis with the Caglia Environmental, our team Red Rock. And also we have Mr. Lorenzo Nadura. He's our staff landfill engineer. And I'd like to recognize also our landfill people who are his staff who's working in the landfill. We have Ms. Cindy Dantano and Ms. Allison Midley. They're basically running the scale house. They are our face of the county. They're doing a great job. Also, we have Mr. Tamerlan Katseyev, a.k.a. Timur. He's also working there as an engineer technician. Lee here will walk us through a brief presentation of our recent upgrades and expansion to the landfill gas collection system at the site. And then when he's done, we're all here to answer any questions you may have, whether it be landfill gas collection systems expansion, present and future, wasteful sequences, master plan, and also operations if any questions may arise. So, Lee?
All right, thank you. We did a little technology check earlier, so one of the videos may skip a little bit, and I apologize in advance for that. As a little outline of what we're going to go through today, we're going to talk a little bit about Landfill Gas 101, just so that we all understand what we're talking about. And then we're going to go through the conditions of the site in June of 2014, when Tetra Tech BAS started the project. Moving on to today, and including our 4 capital improvement projects that have been performed. So this is a photo of a solid waste landfill. On the left is the municipal solid waste landfill, and on the right is native grade. As a little bit of background, when you place waste in a landfill, microbial action is going to decompose that waste, and one of the byproducts of this is landfill gas. Landfill gas is composed primarily of methane and carbon dioxide, in addition to some hazardous air pollutants and carcinogens. As this landfill gas generates, it is creating a pressure. And if you do not have a landfill gas collection system installed, this pressure is going to cause the landfill gas to migrate. The first way that it can migrate is through the surface, called surface emissions. This is through the actual grade of the landfill. The second migration method is subsurface migration. This is below grade. And associated with subsurface migration is the potential for groundwater contamination. Moving on, this is your Fairmead landfill. And it started as a burn and bury facility in the 1950s. It currently operates as a sanitary waste landfill. You have 3 waste management units at the site, 2 of which are lined. And think of this liner as a thick plastic sheet underneath your landfill, and that's protecting your groundwater. Active landfill gas extraction at the site started in 1998. So this is your site, and to kind of familiarize everyone, I'm going to drop a north arrow on this, and you can also see the top left corner is the 99 freeway. If you've been to the site before, you may know where the flare stations are. They are circled on your screens. And also the entrance to facility and your offices are located just below this photo. Waste Management 1 is the original waste management unit for the site. This started accepting waste in the 1950s as the burn and bury facility. It encompasses 45 acres. And this is actually where new waste is being filled currently. Waste Management Unit 2 is a 26-acre cell, and this is lined, so it has that thick plastic liner underneath. It started accepting waste in 1996, and it still has future capacity where you'll be putting waste in the future. Waste Management Unit 3, shown at the top right corner of this photo, this is a 27-acre cell. It is also lined, and just as with Waste Management Unit 2, you will eventually be putting waste in here again. Waste Management Unit 4 is not currently a landfill. It is actually native grade, but eventually you will be installing a liner on this and filling waste in this. And this ties into the master planning, which is why Caleb is here also. We're going to focus first on Waste Management 1 because when we arrived in June of 2014, there was a landfill gas collection system installed only in this portion of the landfill. So you can see over half of your landfill did not have any gas collection system when we started in June of 2014. So in general, the first task that we performed when we started in June was a system assessment. And what we found in general was that there was a lot of deferred maintenance. Things like duct tape were used to repair systems and hold pieces of the collection system together. Also on your control system, the flare station itself, it had a lot of issues on it. Some of your components just weren't maintained properly. They weren't the upkeep wasn't as sufficient as it should be. So the very first thing that we did was the phase 1 of the improvements. Basically everything that we found during our assessment report, we went ahead and fixed for you. So on the top left photo here, you can see this is one of your old wellheads, and you can see the tape holding everything together. And now on the right of that is the new wellheads, and this has been standardized throughout the entire system. This standardization is allowing us to consistently monitor the network and improve and optimize the system. On the bottom photos, this is your control station. On the bottom left is an air compressor. One of the things we found was that your air compressor was constantly running. You're paying the electrical bill for compressing air that's not being used. So we fixed this right away, stop you from having to continuously pay your electric bill on that. And also on the blower itself, one of the blowers, and this is the heart of your collection network. This is what's inducing a vacuum to collect that gas. One of the 2 blowers that you had was not even operable. So we sent it off, had it rebuilt from scratch, so that now you have 2 pieces of component. One is a backup that can help collect the landfill gas from the site. The second phase of improvements at the site was a gas collection and control system expansion. And if I say GCCS, that's just short for the gas collection and control system. This expansion consisted of 22 new vertical landfill gas extraction wells. This was primarily in Waste Management Unit 2. And if you think back to that original photo, that would be on the right side where there was never any gas collection system installed. The reason for this expansion was we were finding surface emissions. So the pressure in the landfill was causing surface emissions, so we installed a gas collection system there to reduce that pressure and ensure regulatory compliance with you. The next phase of expansions was another GCCS expansion, and this included new wells in both Waste Management Units 2 and Waste Management Unit 3. This consisted of 24 vertical gas extraction wells, and again, this was triggered due to surface emissions that we were finding during our monitoring. So what did these expansions actually provide? Well, we have 46 new landfill gas extraction wells. This actually effectively doubled the size of your landfill gas collection network. It additionally increased our landfill gas flow rate from 390 cubic feet per minute at 19% methane to over 900 cubic feet per minute at 36% methane. A very, very large increase. This gas was going somewhere. As I've said before, the pressure is causing these landfill gas emissions to either go through the surface of the landfill or through the subgrade. This increased flow rate can be directly correlated to additional regulatory compliance for you, minimizing the risk to the county, and also potentially increasing revenue from the landfill gas to energy project in the future. The fourth improvement project that was performed was the flare station. Now, these are photos of your old flare as we found it in June of 2014. The expected life of this sort of equipment through regulatory requirements and through industry practices is about 15 years. Your system was installed in 1998, so you got 17 years of continuous operation. That's fantastic. But the photo in the middle of your flare stack is actually going to illustrate the degradation of your site over the long term. You can see the rust on this. You can see there actually is a little scrape of blue paint still from the original color of the flare. This flare stack led to a lot of issues of potential structural stability and then compliance issues. So in June of 2015, and this is a time-lapse video of a 9-hour workday when the flare was installed. We received a brand new flare station, and this is the day it was installed. In June of 2015, your existing flare, which is shown on the right, failed a compliance test. This required Tetra Tech BAS and the county to expedite the process of procurement, design, and permitting, in addition to construction of the new flare station that's being installed. Tetra Tech BAS, on behalf of the county and working with your county staff, performed a bidding process where we received 3 bids from different vendors. We evaluated these bids based on extensive criteria, and then we selected, based on the bids, Perennial Energy to install the new flare station. The expedited effort to get this accomplished required not only internal communication between Tetra Tech BAS and the county, we had to go and expedite permitting efforts with San Joaquin Valley Air Pollution Control District. We also had to work with your Madera County Building Department to obtain building permits for this. And everything went extremely smoothly because of our coordination and our effort together. The new flare station includes 2 centrifugal blowers. These are, again, the heart of your system. It includes the flare stack, which you see just about in its final location. A brand new dual-contained condensate holding tank, and this is to hold the liquids we collect. A condensate destruction system, so you don't have to haul that off-site. In addition to a lot of advanced remote telemetry. And as the cars drive off, we can see that the flare is now in its final location. And to give you guys a little bit of a better close-up view, this is the flare station again. It was source tested or compliance tested once it was installed, and we found that we were successfully combusting all the landfill gas that we were collecting due to the advanced expansion of the gas system that we have. And this stable and continuous operation of the flare, aside from the video that we have going on right now, is saying that the system, your collection network, can now be optimized and it can be tuned properly. And this increasing overall flow rate is, again, minimizing your potential risk while showing great environmental stewardship and potentially increasing your future revenues from landfill gas to energy projects. And with that, on behalf of the team, and this is a small portion of our team, I would like to say thank you. This was a successful project because of the teamwork between Madera County, Tetra Tech BAS, and all of our sub-consultants. And with that, we'll take any questions.
Yeah, you did all that time lapse in 9 hours? Don't choke.
Oh, sorry. I had to get a little bit of water. So that day was a full 9-hour day. It was compressed down into about a minute and 10 seconds. We had a photo or a GoPro mounted on the top of our truck on top of the landfill and just left it going all day. The reason it was jumping around occasionally was because I had to go up there and put in a new battery and put in a new
No, I mean,
memory
that's
stick.
fine. I was amazed what you did. So what is our future use of that gas? I mean, we're going to be able to make electricity. We're going to do something that we've talked about for the last 10 years I've been here.
I will address this question. Excuse me. My name is Gassan Andraus. I'm the president of the Methane Gas Group with Tetra Tech BAS. At this point, I would like you to know that back in May of in 2014, the amount of gas that was being collected amounted to the equivalent of 7 million BTUs per hour. Today, we are collecting about 21 million BTUs per hour, which is, actually we were collecting, I take it back, 4.5 million BTUs. We are over triple the amount that was back 2 years ago. And there is a little bit more work to be done. We believe there is more gas that we have to go after. And I know that it's the desire of many landfill owners. What can we do with the gas instead of burning it in an incinerator and then let it go to waste? Unfortunately, the technology that requires use of the landfill gas into making power or steam requires higher BTU content or higher methane content in the gas. The next step will be to analyze what are the potential technologies to make use of this gas. More work and more studies need to be done. Hopefully we can have answer this question in the next 12 months.
Is there other dumps doing this and making electricity?
Oh, yes. Many landfills around the nation. The most common technology is to take the gas, burn it in internal combustion engine and make electricity. However, the new technologies is to take the gas and make CNG from it, compressed natural gas, and you can use it in vehicles. The caveat to that, you need a minimum of 48% by volume methane in your landfill gas. Now, the gas at the Fermi landfill back in June of 2014, like Lee said, the methane content was about 19% methane.
And it's got to be about 40%, you said?
Got to be 48 or higher. Today we are at 33. And one of the methods to go and capture this extra gas, and we're working with Ahmad and his staff on that, is to put horizontal gas well as part of the placement of waste, which will increase and enhance the methane quantity in the gas.
Okay. So there's still a possibility then?
There is still possibility, yes.
And how expensive is one of those generators and stuff? I mean, is it?
It depends on the size of the power plant you're putting in and or the facility to make CNG. It could range anywhere from, I've seen them as cheap as $2 million for a $2 million.
$2 million, I'd retire.
but you get an income and revenue from it. Yeah. Typically, you recover about within 3 to 5 years the capital cost. And I've seen them as high as $20 million.
Yeah, so
for a 10 megawatt facility or 15 megawatt facility.
Okay, I understand. I guess.
Yeah, there's some of the landfills that are gleaning 500,000 plus a month or a year on these landfill projects. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you can augment the gas through moisture content that will help to quicken the deterioration and create more methane. And one of the things that I've kind of been working with, Eric and I kind of plugged in on this back in 2011. I got an article on a Kentucky landfill where they're making pretty good money on it, and we were looking for revenue sources. But the augmentation of the landfill with moisture, one of the areas that we looked at was possibly getting sewer affluent and using that, considering it's a contained environment, would be a very good way to augment the affluent, or the landfill. Am I correct on that?
That is correct, but there is a lot of drawbacks with that, if I may elaborate.
Yeah, go ahead.
You are absolutely correct, Supervisor. Adding moisture or wetting the trash as you place it will actually accelerate the generation of methane. And you are correct, it will make higher methane. However, it shortens the life of the gas generation. All it's doing is accelerating the life of the bacteria. It's like making somebody will live his life for only 30 or 40 years and lives their life, but then dies early. Right. Now, as far as the sewer is concerned, or taking sewage sludge, many cities have applied that, and you're absolutely correct. Also, it will increase the amount of methane, but there is potential damage to your equipment, the heavy equipment. It gets too gunky, and the city of Phoenix did it for about 5 to 6 years before they realized it's too much maintenance with the heavy equipment and the tracks of the...
It wasn't cost effective, in other words.
It wasn't cost effective, and it was a headache. But
Okay.
if your objective is to enhance the methane content, that's one way of doing it.
So what about treated effluent? Partially treated.
What do you mean?
In other words, tertiary treated affluent from sewer plant.
Not but it's pretty clean.
You mean pretty dry, and then that will be great because the methane content that comes from sewage effluent is 63% by volume methane, the digester gas.
Yeah.
It will definitely add. If you have pretty dry effluent, it will work nicely in a landfill.
Okay.
If it's a sludge, it's going to cause a lot of operational problem for your operators.
Right. Yeah. I know Chowchilla has its own drying area, and they pay to dispose of the sludge. The dry sludge would be a possibility for a better mix for the creation of methane.
That is correct.
We could make some kind of a contact with them and talk to them about that. In fact, Madera may be amiable to that as well on their sludge disposal. It's a possibility.
What do they do with the sludge now?
They pay to have it removed.
And where do they deposit it?
Excuse me?
Where do they deposit?
Kettleman City. It gets hauled away to another, as far away as Kettleman. And
I don't know if we want to be like Kettleman when it comes to something.
well, I don't think the circumstances here are totally different because it's a contained environment and it turns into something that's viable and usable. And we're looking for an opportunity to augment that gas so we can generate income. I think it's doable in the long run.
That is correct.
So it's something we might want to look into, contacting the city of Chowchilla and the city of Madera about their sludge, dry sludge, and that would be good.
Any other questions? Anybody from the public? Okay. Bring it back to the board. And thank
It's
you
just a presentation, right? There's no
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you for the presentation.
I look forward to the day we can make some money on that. Yeah.
Okay. 7B.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Very good.
7B, County Administration Department, discussion and consideration of approval to authorize submission of 2016 NACO Achievement Awards application for the 311 Customer Service Center program.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Eric Fleming, County Administrator. We're here before your board today seeking your approval and authorization to submit an application for an achievement award with the National Association of Counties, and that would be for our 311 Customer Service Center program, which we are very proud of. As a little bit of history before I lead into a brief video, just to remind everyone what this service is this came out of the fiscal crisis, and it specifically came as a recommendation from the MGT of America study when they came in and looked at our organization and made recommendations for not only cost-cutting, but increasing efficiency and improving service levels. So we feel that the program's been a big success over the period of time that it's been in operation. And just as a reminder for everyone in the public, I'd like to play this brief video just to highlight what it is that this program does.
Madera County residents, welcome to Madera County 311. In an effort to make county services more accessible, you can now call 311 from any cell phone or landline in Madera County to obtain information, report problems, and/or request services. 311 is an easy-to-remember number you can call for up-to-date information on all county non-emergency services.
Thank you for calling Madera County.
You can obtain information such as how can I register to vote? Where can I get my child immunized? Where can I pay my property taxes and when are they due? How can I obtain a copy of a birth or marriage certificate? Or what are the operating hours of my local library? You can report problems such as road hazards on a county road that needs repair or trouble with an animal. You can request services such as where can I receive access to mental health services, scheduling a building inspection, applying for and receiving a business license, or checking on a building permit. Operators are available Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. to provide you with information, take service requests, and refer calls to the appropriate Madera County government agency. You may also obtain information and request services online through the 311 website at madco311.com, where you can also track the status of your request. 311 offers several benefits, including providing you with self- or agent-assisted help and/or service, giving you the choice of using the telephone or the internet to contact the county, helping county government and officials hear more clearly the needs and demands of county residents, and improving governmental efficiencies by providing real-time data on requests, complaints, and services provided, thereby allowing for improved allocation of resources and personnel. The goals of 311 are to improve customer service by giving citizens one simple number to call for all non-emergency county services, to make information more readily available to the general public, to improve satisfaction and communication for citizens when calling the county, to help county employees deliver better and timely customer service using the 311 tools available to them, and to personalize every citizen's interaction and transaction unique to the citizen's request. Operators are standing by, waiting for your call. Dial 311 for all non-emergency county services. Madera County 311, at your service.
Very nice.
Pretty good.
Very nice.
Just a couple statistics. Since we went live, I guess it's been almost almost 4 years. We've answered over 220,000 calls. We've received and processed 11,800 external requests for service. And also, this group provides internal assistance with requests as well, and we've processed nearly 9,500 internal requests. So real proud of what this group is doing. Get a lot of good feedback on it.
Very good. Brett?
A lot of those 9,500 requests have been from me. I still use it. It's usually easier than even just looking up on my telephone sheet to just go to 311. And then just a story from a couple weeks ago, there was a gentleman that had walked into the government center, and he was obviously lost, and he came up to me, and we started talking. I was asking him, who are you looking for? And he just said Miss Garcia, and then he just kept saying the same 4 words over and over again, and I couldn't help. I had no idea where. I was like, well, what department? I don't know. And it just so 3 of the words that he kept saying over and over was I don't know. So I said, well, I walked him up to 311, and they were able to, out of the the few things that he was able to give in terms of information, they said, oh, yeah, it's just right down there through Veteran Services at the, and so I was able to take him down there, and I've seen him back now 2 or 3 times. He goes, now he knows where he's supposed to go, and I mean, it was just that little extra touch of customer service that, you know, I didn't know where to turn to. Took him up there, and they got him to what he needed immediately. It was, I still don't know how they did it. It was not a whole lot of words that he was giving, but you know, it's pretty amazing what they do. So,
Thank you.
Tom?
Yeah, it's such a relief having that, because I had so many complaints before we started when we were on furloughs, especially for people who drive down here and it was closed on Friday.
Right.
But since we've been doing it, each night I have a town hall, I ask how many people use 311. You know, when I first started, it might be 1 or 2, 3 or 4, but now it's over half almost every time. At Raymond, I think there was 3/4 of them up there last week said that they've used 311. Because it's easy to remember, and we got those signs that we posted all over the county really helped too, I think. So I just want to thank all the staff for that. That's really helped public perception of our county.
David?
Yeah, the 311 staff has given the county a better image. Their friendly approach when you're calling in, the excellent way they greet, and I always tell them, hey, I can hear your smile, and I like that because they present a great image for the county. Another thing, when we were first looking at this, I remember previously when I was on the customer service side of the county, having to look up the number for whatever department you're trying to reach, and there's a dozen, or actually more than that. There was like 20 to 30 numbers in there, and just listed down, and you could, take your choice. And a lot of times it wasn't the right one, to get to. And this just has simplified things for the public so much. And people will ask me, well, how do I get in touch with you? I say, dial 311 and ask for Supervisor Rogers. It's not hard. And it makes it so nice for the public to not have to scramble to find county services. And I believe ultimately we've saved a lot of money in the way of operations as well. I think a case can be made that we eliminated a lot of operators countywide and consolidated that into one service and freeing those other people up to do actual work that was necessary. So that, in and of itself, made us capable of doing more with less.
Thank you.
Max?
Eric, system works. We know that. But have other counties copied us in this type of a system that you know of?
I'm only aware of one other county. Actually, they had done something similar to this before us. It was Solano County. But I'm not aware of other counties that have gone in this direction.
Right.
We haven't really advertised our successes too much. As soon as
right?
if we get a national award, we may have some other counties copy.
That'll do it.
Yes.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
Very good.
I think one other thing to highlight here is, in this day and age where everything is automated, and to be able to call and get a live person, it reduces a whole lot of frustration for people just in hearing somebody else's voice that you just don't get in a large organization like ours. And so to have that is something that we can stick as a feather in our cap, that we're really people here to help you, is a strong message to say. So I think this is a great idea.
I do too.
Eric, this is just another thing of Madera County having a vision for their people, and this is just outstanding. I think it makes it so easy now that everybody's getting used to it and stuff, and how to contact anybody they want to in Madera County to help them and assist in every kind of issues they're having. So congratulations, and I like the video. It's nice. Very nice.
So that video will go to CSAC when we...
I believe that's one of the things we'll do is provide a link and some backup information. But the initial application, I think, is limited to a couple hundred words, and we need to summarize
this is
the program.
Here.
But eventually, if we make it to the next round, they'll probably want more information. So,
Wow.
and really, the people that make this thing work are the people that are handling the calls day in and day out. So I'd like to specifically thank Nicole, Danielle, Cindy, Jennifer, and Ignacio.
Did you miss any?
You bet.
I don't.
Thumbs up
Well,
to
there's
go.
some backup. I take that back.
See?
Stephanie and Veronica also help us with backup in HR. So thank everybody.
Thank you, girls.
Anybody from the public?
You can utilize some of the comments made here this morning in that application, I think.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Definitely be beneficial.
Okay, I see nobody from the public. Bring it back to the board.
I move that we absolutely do this.
Second. The first and a second. Can we have a vote?
Call for the vote. Supervisor Wheeler?
Yes.
Supervisor Rodriguez?
Yes.
Supervisor Rogers?
Yes.
Supervisor Frazier?
Totally yes.
Supervisor Farinelli?
Yes.
Vote passes by vote.
Thank you.
Okay, 7C.
County Administration Department, discussion and consideration of approval of transfer of appropriations number 15-075 in the amount of $30,000 to be used for grant application preparation, project administration, preliminary biological studies, and appraisal costs for the proposed Blackhawk Ranch off-highway vehicle project.
Morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the
Morning,
board.
Bill.
This is a request to take some of the surplus money that was.
You have a speaker on?
Yes.
Thank you.
This is a request to take some of the surplus money that was put in the Manzanita off-highway vehicle application from a few years ago. It's just been sitting there, and move it to Blackhawk to pick up some of the additional costs we've been incurring to answer public questions, write the application for the OHV, and to get a head start on biological study. We have the biologist out looking at the pond out there to see if we have a tiger salamander issue. It's a 2-year study, so we've jumped it to see if we can get on it now and get the first year out of the way. The Manzanita project was a no-go, as you're very well aware, and therefore this money has just been sitting there. The project for Manzanita, which is the pedestrian and equestrian trails, is to be funded under an endowment grant from the Stewardship Council. I've been working on that for several months. We're on our 5th reiteration of the application. And I expect it will be approved sometime in April. So this money is not needed for that purpose. Questions?
Any questions from the board? Any questions from the public? Here we go.
Good morning. I'm Darren Sylvia. I'm the superintendent at Chewanicky Unified School District. And as a representative of our trustees board, we are providing a resolution in opposition to this plan for an OHV park adjacent to the Minarets High School facility. Our concerns range in a variety of issues, going from noise pollution all the way to traffic control. Last time we understood there may even be an easement off of 41 down the Outback Road to access this OHV park. As part of that consideration, I think we need to vet that option. We're not opposed to any development in that area, but having OHV Park in that adjacent part of that consolidation and looking at how that mitigation will look for traffic and safety concerns of our students that would flow in and out of that residential area, around the high school facility itself. It will pose an impending traffic issue along with some safety concerns. We have about 130 acres that are reserved on the back of our property that is a water treatment facility along with a sewage plant in that area. We're not sure how we would secure that in regards to the OHV and what the propagation would be in regards to the facility and the OHV being law enforcement. So as part of the trustees, they are in opposition to the development going forward under an OHV. So I have a resolution that we'd like to pass out to all of you. And please take that into consideration before moving forward on that project. If you're looking at other options for the use of that property and the land, we would not be opposed to being involved in that consideration.
Thank you, Gary. Did you say you used that 137 acres for the spray fields for your septic and stuff?
No, on that 137 acres, it's part of our mitigation to make sure that stays reserved, that we only can use it for rangeland and grazing and we have to make sure that it is fenced and properly secured, and we have to meet our conservatory responsibilities of making sure that we meet the environmental impact.
Yeah.
Not being able to secure the back of the OHV, and not sharing what that would look like and how that law enforcement action would take. I don't know who would be responsible for it, and that poses a bigger problem to us, which would probably and most likely cause us a bigger problem in our sewage treatment center, which is a good probably mile away from our campus, closer to the back end of the Blackhawk Mountain.
Yeah. Do the rock trucks and garbage trucks, anything bother your noise and traffic hazard for your kids?
The noise on the rock trucks, no. The kids will be more on the back. If you have motor vehicles, motorcycles, cars, and things like that, it seems to be a louder noise that propagates through the back of the facility without the berm being able to control that. The rock trucks are no longer there. Outback is actually pulling out that facility, so the flow of traffic in and out off the Outback Road hasn't been a major impact at this point, but they have a berm that's consistent that is parallel to the access to the high school.
Yeah.
But it does pose a problem when students, really 16-year-olds through 18-year-olds, pulling out into the traffic lane there. It's a grave concern, and then probably the most important piece is buses along with vehicles that are going to be using that access road could cause us a major issue down the line.
David? Yeah, your letter shows no vote on that. What was the vote?
It was 5-0.
Okay, thank you.
Brett?
No. And again, on this individual item, this isn't whether or not to actually go forward with the OHV park, which
Right. Well, I'd hate to have you spend $30,000 on applying for a grant for this, and then not vet the opposition against it ahead of time. So we're trying to be proactive for you, so that you're not spending money that later on could be used for something else.
Yeah, and this money was coming from another project that was for the same thing, right. And then in going through the vetting process, it failed. It didn't. It was not going to be a good project. So, for us to be able to go forward with this, and I had made a commitment to the residents up there that we're going to fully vet this with the biological, with the cultural.
Everything.
Everything. So, we need to use this money so that we can, but it's always good to hear every single time any issues that come up so that we know of those, so that as we're going through this, we're not just, throwing, darts blindly. We're more targeted on what.
Well, I know you want to get your facts and details back, and I do understand how the grant processing works in regards to funding and trying to issue a grant and expenses towards that. I just want to make sure that you hear the opposition against it and with the school district's concern and how that would end up impacting our district and the concern at Minarets High School mainly.
And I appreciate those comments too very, very much.
Thank you. Anybody else from the public? If anybody else wants to speak, please get in the line over here, please.
My name is Bart Topping, Madera County. I guess, Mr. Chairman, I can assume that there's a change in the mood of the board now that they're willing to ask some questions and have some questions answered prior to continuing with this project. If that is so, I applaud the board for that. I think this should have been done a long time ago. I have some questions. The money, most grants that I've ever been around or dealt with are site-specific. And this grant was for Manzanita Lake property, or Manzanita Lake recreation area. How can it be transferred to another project? I just tell how can it legally be done? I don't know who wants to answer, Mr. Hayter, or who?
Bill.
Oh, I didn't see it.
This money is not grant money. It is developer fees pledged for park development.
So this money is all developer fee money. how much money is left in that account? You know, you guys received, what, $300 and some thousand grant for this project? You got $100,000 out of developer fee money. How much has been spent and how much is left in that account? How much have you received from the state or from the Parks and Recreation?
It would be helpful if you put your questions in writing, for one, and those monies can be pledged.
I've asked for
Mr.
that
Topping,
2 weeks ago.
Can I finish? Those monies can be pledged going forward on development impact fees. It's going to the benefit of enhancing public recreation opportunities, and we can commit that source going forward. It's getting ready to ramp up. We've got a lot of new development coming online, and we'd like to put those funds to good use. So
Okay,
there's plenty of those
I
funds coming in.
understand that about the development
Thank you.
fees. Yes, but the grant money, how much money is
What's your specific question?
the $300,000 that you applied for in grant money for Manzanita Lake Recreation? How much is that have you received and how much have you spent?
You can, if you'd submit that later. Bill, I don't know if he's got those figures or not, but I
Okay.
don't understand the connection. I mean, what's the relevance of your question?
So my question is, I guess, what is happening with Manzanita Lake project? Is it
We've been
idle?
working,
Is it
we've
sitting?
been working on
about
it for
that
about
today.
12 years, so we're still working on it right now.
Yeah, but what, you know, you've ruled out the OHV park.
We didn't, they did.
And I've asked for that documentation 2 weeks ago and haven't received anything yet from you
ask for it
people.
in writing?
So, you know, how can we be prepared if we don't have the information that we request?
Did you ask for it in writing?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
We got the
I'm sure
PRA
you'll get it.
request. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sure you'll get it,
Your
that's
form.
fine.
We got that. We received that at the end of last week, and it takes a period of time
End
to
of
get the
last
documents
week.
that you request. Just need be a little patient.
We emailed it to the county the day after the last board meeting.
I can't answer to processing of the PRAs. I don't process those. I received it at the end of last week.
Okay. But I guess my point being that you've been, 12 years, Tom said, in the process of doing the Manzanita Lake project? How long have you been in the process of doing the Awani Hills project? 20 years?
Probably.
When did that start? 2000? I don't know.
And what's your point?
You know, you guys are the ones that
What's your point?
that are
Don't
in
do
charge.
anything,
My
or-
point of it is,
Okay.
the county does not need to be involved in another Parks and Recreation project.
We got
You
a lot
have
of
two on the
people
books right now that are half completed and maybe never will be completed.
Okay. This is going a little bit out of control, and I thank you. You had your 3 minutes, and your 3 minutes are up, and we will get you that information. Eric already said he'll get you the information, and you're right. But we got to keep on going with recreations areas for Madera County, no matter what they are, and for our residents and everybody else. Just because some people don't want that in their area, it's just like anything else that goes on. There's always people that are going to resist it. So thank you so much.
I'm with the gentleman from Minarets that, you know, you guys could save yourselves some money. But this
Thank
is
you.
going to be a
I
long
appreciate it. Thank you.
battle. I don't understand. When did you
Thank you.
involve the
Next.
3-minute
Thank
rule?
you. Next.
Okay.
Thank you.
There'll be more. I'll be back.
Good.
Fine.
Promise.
I hope so.
You haven't heard the end of
I
it.
hope so. Thank you. Next.
Morning, Ned.
Good morning. My name is Ned McDougall. I live in Face Block.
Would you get closer to the mic, please?
Yeah, could you-
I live in Face Block my entire life. I kind of am a little bit, I'm trying to figure out the logic of why you would want an OHB park at that elevation. If you look at the National Forest and the recreational facilities available to OHB participants, it's in the mountains and not the lower part of the mountains. If you're going to have one, it should at least in my thought, be at a higher elevation to, one, you don't have to worry about it being as dry, and there's also additional things they can do at the same time while they're there. So, in other words, National Forest is actually where I think it should be, but they probably won't allow that. So anyway, moving on beyond the National Forest, at least I deal with the call, the call before you burn program for the APCD. And what they say is, the only time I can burn below 2,000 feet is if it's raining. So if you're going to have an OHV park that's going to create dust and maybe, unless you're going to get rid of two-stroke engines, you're going to have a whole pollution issue related to air or dust and contaminants. So elevation would help you there, and moisture content, because as the higher you go, the more moisture there is. So unless you want to run them in the rain, I guess that would be one solution, but that's pretty much the gist of what I've got to say at this point. I haven't seen the proposal, so I don't really know if there is a proposal. What is it? I don't know if there is one. Is there a proposal? I mean, does somebody plan this, or is this just, we're just shooting in the dark here?
No, we're just starting to plan, and it's got to go through all of us. It's got to go through the air board. I mean, there's nothing that this cannot go through. Just like any other project we've done in Madera County, whether it's a development, whether it's a park, whatever it is, it's got to go through the whole process.
All right, well,
And this is just the beginning of it. This is about the probably 14th, 15th piece we've found that we've tried to do this, and every one of them has been shut down for one reason or another. And this one, it's just at that point now, we've got to do all these studies.
Why don't you, I'm just going to shoot from the hip here, because I drive up 274 all the time, and I see that whole hill they burned off there. They burn it off every 10 years or so.
Yeah.
If
about time, too.
Yes, no, it's, they need to do that, so why don't you have an OHV park on the federal government and not on private land?
Same thing as what it takes, how long it plans to do something like this. If you're going to do it on a Forest Service, you know what you got to go through that. NEPA, Congress, the whole works. I mean,
it's the same as what you're going to go through, essentially.
No. Yeah, it's the same, but about 20 times harder.
Oh, really?
Yeah, big time.
Well, it needs to be changed then, because we're wasting our. You know the logging deal. They said, okay, we're going to get rid of logging in the Sierras, and so what are we going to give you? We're going to give you the scenic byway that if you ever drove your car up, you'll know that you can't get there. I mean, it just destroys your car.
It's off the subject.
I know, but I'm just trying to make a point.
Thank you. David?
Yeah.
And thank you for your time.
No, just a minute. He wants to ask a question.
Yeah, this project has been thought out. It was part of a recreational sports program that we have been working on for the last 6 years.
Actually, before you got on the board.
Yeah, and even before then. But I'm saying we went out to the actual study.
Back to that, yeah, we went
out to an actual study that recommended that we consider that, because there's a demand and a need, and the state also has been interested in us locating an OHV park in Madera County, because we're centrally located. There is a high demand for OHV because the parks that they have are overflowing with people. They have to turn people away. So there is a high demand. And there are a lot of people who want this, and a lot of Madera County residents who want this. So we're listening to them as well. So it's not just a haphazard thing. This has been in progress for some years.
Okay. Well, I hadn't realized. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not in that loop.
I'm just telling you.
So, so my point still is that it would be better if you could coordinate it with existing opportunity for people to do that.
Yes, the other thing I'd like to correct a little bit, what you said about two strokes and stuff like that, and four strokes. If you're a motorcycle rider, you know probably back in '99 that everybody shifted over to a four-stroke. And each one of those four strokes, you got a red sticker and you got a green sticker. The red sticker you can only ride on tracks. Green sticker you can ride on off the road. Okay. And the green sticker, you have to your silencers and stuff like that on the bike has to hit so many decibels, and you cannot have that. You know, like a long time ago when I rode, you cut off the pipes and then went and had a good old time, put butterflies so you could ride it on the street and all that stuff. That time is gone forever. And the other thing you mentioned, riding up in the mountains. At one time, we had a glorious riding place called Miami Creek. It was once about 3,000 acres. It's now been cut down to about 500, thanks for Tom several years ago fighting for that 500 acres.
They want to shut it all down.
Yeah, they want to shut it all down. But and the other thing, too, is what our government keeps on doing with off-the-road vehicles. is they put a portion that maybe is on one side of the hill and then a portion on the other side of the hill that you could ride on. So now you have to have, instead of a green sticker, now you have to have a regular sticker because you have to ride across the road to get to the other side of the road to ride on the other side. So, I mean, anything to do for fees and everything. And what's happened, because it's just like the gas tax that we have now, we get more economy cars and blah, blah, blah. They forced us into that because the gas was $5 a gallon. And so now they don't have enough tax money to fix the roads. And this is the same thing as the off-the-road park people. We have so much money in green sticker that because they shut all these things down, we have the ability right now to bring this to Madera County, which would be a huge effort for off-the-road vehicles and to have a good time and bring some economic money back to Madera just because of that. So anyway, I just wanted to correct you a little bit on that.
Okay.
The green sticker, red sticker, people doesn't know that. And
I
just wanted to.
have a sticker, but I don't know what color it is.
Thank
you. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
He just races cows.
Okay, anybody else? Okay, back to the board.
Yeah, I think the point, we've been moving forward on this, keep running into roadblocks at different ones, and, this isn't just trying to put it on to Black Hawk Mountain. If this one doesn't work, we're going to keep going somewhere else, and there'll be another group of people that will be in here telling us, not here, anywhere else but here. So it's not like we're just trying to place it at Black Hawk Mountain. We have to go through all this process to see, how we're going to do it, if it's even feasible. And we need this money to be able to study that for your benefit to make sure that any of the issues that you're bringing up are either properly mitigated, or if we can't mitigate them, then we have to move on to the next project. So, that's what's really in front of us today. That's the decision point at this point, not whether or not Black Hawk Mountain is the right place for it. It's making sure that we're going forward.
Okay, thank you. Back to the board.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make that motion to approve 7C, approval of transfer appropriation number 15-075, an amount of $30,000.
Second.
Have a first and a second. Call for the vote.
Supervisor Rodriguez?
Yes.
Supervisor Rogers?
Yes.
Supervisor Frazier?
Yes.
Supervisor Wheeler?
Yes.
Supervisor Farinelli?
Yes.
Vote passes 5-0.
Thank you. 7D.
County Administration Department, Human Resources Operations Division. Discussion and consideration to provide formal direction to staff to begin discussions with all bargaining units, employee groups, excluding those units represented by SEIU and AFSCME, regarding monetary reimbursements in the county's furlough program.
Good morning, Chairman, members of the board. Adrienne Caleb reporting this morning on behalf of Human Resources. The item that's before you is an item that is in direct relation to agreements that you've recently approved with AFSCME for the clerical and technical units and SEIU for the professional and service units to begin discussions with all other bargaining units and employee groups to discuss monetary reimbursement as a result of the county's furlough program. And the request that's made this morning for the direction is because historically the board has chosen to seek equity for all employee groups. And so this item is presented before you, and I look forward to receiving direction. Thank you.
Any questions from the board? Tom?
No. Oh, I'm just going to make a motion. I'm sorry.
Okay. Public? Any comments from the public? Bring back the board. Tom?
I move we approve item 7D.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you.
Okay, Brett, second.
Call for the vote. Supervisor Wheeler?
Yes.
Supervisor Frazier?
Yes.
Supervisor Rogers?
Yes.
Supervisor Rodriguez?
Yes.
Supervisor Farinelli?
Yes.
Vote passes 5-0.
I just wanted to thank staff and our units and everything for all the work you've done to get this where we are today.
Yep.
It's been a 5-6 year process. So thank you.
I appreciate that.
Very
it was
much.
a lot of work.
Very good. Okay, 7F.
E.
I'm sorry.
7E, County Administration Department, Human Resources Operations Division. Discussion and consideration to adopt policy and guidelines for Madera County's internship program.
This is an item that's before you, requesting that the board adopt policy and guidelines for an internship program. For many years, different departments have sought the services of interns, and what this policy does is that it establishes consistency among all county departments. And this item is also, I'm proud to report that this is an action item that was on the agenda from last year's management session where we sought some goals, and so this is before you.
Yeah, this was the thing that I signed up for. You notice that we're finishing it before we get to the next management. I hitched my wagon to Adrian. That's why it's here.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. Anybody from the public? Bring it back to the board.
I would love to move that we approve this. I think this will be a great program.
Second.
Okay, we have a first and a second.
Call for the vote. Supervisor Frazier?
Yes.
Supervisor Wheeler?
Yes.
Supervisor Rodriguez?
Yes.
Supervisor Rogers?
Yes.
Supervisor Farrinelli?
Yes.
Vote passes 5-0.
Thank
We've
you.
come
Thank
up
you,
with some,
Adrian. You
we've
make
come
me
up
look
with
good.
some good
Thank
people.
you. There's great programs that are going on. Very good.
Yeah.
7F.
Economic Development Commission, Madera County. Discussion and consideration of approval of the 2016-2017 basic service level budget as submitted.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Bobby Kahn, Madera County Economic Development Commission. As you have well noted, it's budget time again for the Madera County EDC. Before you is our basic service level agreement. A couple of different highlights that you'll see in this budget that is different from the last year is that we recalculated all the percentages of population based on the Department of Finance most recent calculations. We also conferred with Madera County Transportation Commission on their funding mechanism, and we're requesting that the funding formula for our agency would be consistent with their agency, and so the numbers are now 49% for the county, 43% for the city of Madera, and 8% for the city of Chowchilla. This reflects a difference for the county of $18,000 less funding from the county. So what we would be asking for this year would be a request for $195,782. And again, this would be through a contract as in the past with the Department of Social Services through CalWorks. And again, our budget is almost identical to last year. Currently, we have the wages frozen. Last year, we gave a 2.5% increase to Lois and Julie, and my salary's been frozen since 2007, and so that all salaries would remain frozen this year, and just trying to deal with basically health benefit increases. Is a little bit of I think we're a couple $1,000s more than last year. So I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have. Philip?
Yeah, on Lois's backup, on the second paragraph, it says the 2016-17 basic service level budget is approximately $18,000 less than the 16-17 budget.
Oh, that's a typo. I apologize. That's on us.
We just got to make it clear before we vote on this,
Yes.
either way.
Right.
So
I
that should be
apologize.
15-16.
Yeah,
so.
and I should have caught that. I'm in charge of proofreading. She's in charge of typing. I'm in charge of
You
proofreading.
want to borrow these? They
Or-
work pretty, you wanna
Yeah,
borrow these? They
yeah.
work pretty good.
Maybe yours are a little stronger than mine. Maybe I need to increase.
It just, with those kind of things, we just got to watch because of.
Yeah, no, good catch. I apologize for that.
Okay. Tell her I'll forgive her this time, too.
Actually, it's on me. Like I said, she types it, but I proof it.
David?
Yeah, I just want to point out that I've been hearing good things out in the industrial world and the development into that. I've met with Mr. Miller from the Deer Point Group and had high praise for you and what went on with that process. And King Hussein, talked to him a little bit. There's a lot that you're doing, and I wanted to point that out, and I appreciate that. I wouldn't mind using an extra $5,000 from that workforce development funds to augment our portion up to make it up to an even $200,000. I'd like to see this staff compensated for their work, and they've been some time without adequate compensation as compared to other things that are going on. So that's just my thoughts, and I don't know what the other members of the board feel.
Yeah, and again, if that did happen, that would only be directed to staff. It wouldn't. I would not adjust my salary.
Well, that's generous of you, because considering you've gone without for quite a few years.
Yeah, they have families. I don't.
Yeah.
Anybody in the public? Is this, I have one question. Last year, we basically had certain percentages, and we asked for those certain percentages. Did we get those percentages, Eric?
Thank you,
Because
Mr. Chairman.
we put it off for 1 year so the other cities wouldn't have to get hit.
On ours, the counties in particular, I think we got pretty close. It was dropped to 49%. I think what we had projected based on population and factoring out the prison out of ours, it should have been about 46.88%. But the ratio is different than what your board requested, but I think it's consistent with some other Madera County Transportation Commissions, so that would be a board decision if you want to change a little bit off what you had directed last year, but it's not exactly what was it requested last year.
What would have been the difference?
Using 46.88%, it would be about $187,311, which is about an $8,500 difference.
How much?
$8,500 less.
Okay. Bring it back to the board.
I move that we approve.
Second. First and second.
Call for the vote. Supervisor Frazier?
Yes.
Supervisor Wheeler?
Yes.
Supervisor Rogers?
Yes.
Supervisor Rodriguez?
Yes.
Supervisor Farinelli?
Yes.
Vote passes 5-0.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. G, or do we miss one? Nope.
No.
Nope. G.
7G, Fire Department, articulating platform truck. 1, discussion and consideration of approval of receipt of unanticipated revenue number 15-076 in the amount of $954,427 paid by Chichancy pursuant to the first addendum to the Chichancy 2007 Memorandum of Understanding to be appropriated to the operating transfer out account for transfer to the fire budget. 4 votes required. 2, discussion and consideration of approval of receipt of unanticipated revenue number 15-077 in the amount of $954,427 derived from the Chichancy/Madera Trust Fund to be appropriated to fire budget for an aerial fire apparatus equipment. 4 votes required.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Hey, Matt.
Good morning. The Chairman, Board of Supervisors. Yeah, we just brought this before you. This is, we came before you twice, once to get approval for the purchase, and now we're just requesting the funds be transferred from the Chichancy account into these accounts so we can actually make the first payment, which is going to save the county, with some prepayment on this piece of equipment, it's going to save the county some money.
About how much?
I don't know the exact amount of
But it will
savings.
save
There was about 6 different trigger points that we've met all of them. We've met 5 of the 6 so far. That's going to, all of those equate to different savings.
How about any more progress on the Children's Hospital fire truck?
Yeah, there was a phone conversation yesterday between the finance manager and Chief Allen and myself, and they brought some questions forward. They're going to schedule a meeting with Eric Fleming, and then they also want to talk to the manufacturer. They have some specific questions on payment.
Beautiful. Keep it all in line.
Absolutely. I'll move to approve.
Public? Anybody from the public? Bring it back to the board.
Move to approve.
Second. Have a first and a second?
That's items 1 and 2.
1 and 2, okay.
Call for the vote. Supervisor Rogers?
Yes.
Supervisor Frazier?
Yes.
Supervisor Wheeler?
Yes.
Supervisor Rodriguez?
Yes.
Supervisor Farinelli?
Yes.
Vote passes 5-0.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Going to finally
Okay.
get one.
Is there item 8? Any kind of?
I was just going to ask, I sent that stuff about the pellet refinancing and stuff to you and Robert. Robert said he was going to look into that. I don't know if he's here or not, but we need to keep on top of that. We should write letters of support on that.
Yeah, Robert was looking into
Pil-
it,
Pil-
making sure that it's at that level to make sure, so we don't have to go back to committee and all that stuff.
Right.
And you know how that stuff works. Yeah, he was looking into that, so, okay, it's good. Okay, seeing none, supervisor reports?
I think I just have to report that I had gone to Sacramento for the High-Speed Rail Authority meeting. If anybody talks to you, just remember 3 words from Madera County is cheaper, faster, smarter. So,
hey, cheaper, faster, smarter.
Yeah.
I like that. Who came up with that?
I kept hearing Letty say it, and I think they're using it around high-speed rail. So when I got up there, I went a little off script and just kept saying it over and over again. But you know,
hey,
it
might
left
as well
it
tell
with
them the
something.
truth. They need to
Kurt
hear the
tried
truth.
to steal it, and I yelled from the back. I said, "Hey, that's trademark infringement." So I think that might be ours now.
Thank you guys for.
Anybody else?
I had a great town hall at Raymond the other day. Each year it gets a bit bigger, so I had a few more people and had great staff there, and it was. They brought up the OHV, the safety tax, and Bill Ritchie done a great job explaining that again, and our social services lady, she came up again, and she does a great job advertising what we have to offer for the people. So, and the first thing they asked when I talked about the busing is what's for Raymond, and I told them that Jerry had actually talked about, when we get all this working, that we're going to hopefully get one of the bus routes over there. So we got a couple in Norfolk now, so Raymond's next. So we got Madera pretty well covered.
That's good, man.
Good. I'm going to be headed to RCRCE today.
Yep.
No.
I just want to thank a bunch of people. We went to a tour in Sacramento at the JFK High School, again for a police academy here at Madera Unified. I think Cheryl Stissel and Dino Larson and a bunch of other people that went up there, I think we're going to be able to bring that back, that system back to Madera Unified. And it's quite a program, but it's for all public safety, not just police or whatever.
Wow.
And I really appreciate it. This is the second tour that we've taken, and looks like it's going to be something for this fall. I'm really excited about it. And then the other, I just wanted to mention this, and you know how I am on the gang intervention. One of the biggest things in the issue that we have in gang intervention is through the whole valley. And I got to meet with Bishop Ochoa on Sunday, and basically, my concerns and things that we've been working on. And he was quite open to the Catholic diocese to start pushing that and helping on mentoring system, and that's through the whole valley. And so he set up a meeting with me, and we will be going down there with a couple of my gang intervention team and discuss this. But he's going to make it part of of his diocese. Basically, try to commit to helping this program. And getting more mentors from the Catholic diocese of the Valley, pretty good. So that's it.
Rick,
I forgot to mention.
Go ahead.
I forgot to mention that I attended the San Joaquin Valley Water Infrastructure Authority as well, and that's moving forward. It's there were some glitches at first, but
looking good now.
Yeah, that seems to be coming forward. There was really good consensus this last meeting, and I think what was happening was we were getting off track as an organization about what our purpose was. And the meeting brought it back into point, and we agreed that our purpose is to build a dam. And we spoke with the Water Commission members, and they were pretty impressed with the cohesion of the group at this last meeting. It was very, very well done. So finally, I think it's going to gel.
Yeah. Rick, I just wanted to say that Brittany went up to the state tree mortality task force, for the governor yesterday. He got home 7:30 last night. She was down here at 7:30, so she's doing pretty good. But we're really gaining some traction. I don't know if we're going to get any money yet, but we're going to have a resource fair on the 2nd of April up there. And we have all the different agencies, from Forest Service to even insurance companies that help people out and see what we can do. And then We actually broke ground. I wish I'd have brought this up when they were talking about the OHB park. We broke ground Saturday for the SPCA building in Awanee Park. It's been over, I've just been working on it the 10 years I've been on. They've been working on it for 20 years. They raised $1.5 million, and just the stuff that we've been trying to do to build that building on that Awanee Park has been about 6 or 7 years. We approved it about 8 years to give them that property for $1 a year. So none of these things, I don't care what we do, it just takes so much time to get over all the hurdles that they throw in front of us. So.
Yeah, it's real funny that you mentioned that, Tom, because someone was telling me about Temperance Dam the other day, and oh my God, we're going to hold it up if we, you know, the petition and all this
Get
stuff.
closer to the microphone.
You know, the petition and everything, but, you know, Hoover Dam was built in 4 years.
Yeah.
4 years.
Well,
They built a 4-story parking lot next to it a few years back. Took them 12 years just to get through the litigation, and then they finally could build it. So
It just shows the difference there is now with the people that put halts to things.
Okay, let's go back to closed session.
Sound like a winner.
There are no reportable items.
I would say meeting's adjourned. Thank you.